Today's episode is sponsored by Multi-Fit Wellness Private Limited. In these difficult times when we all are struggling to maintain a fitness routine at home, Multi-Fit's trainers and coaches are providing online customized exercise sessions. And we all know how important personal training is for our different health requirements. They claim that they are offering the best online fitness service at the moment at the most affordable prices. You can go ahead and compare with others. The online programs on offer are PT, nutrition, and group training sessions. And if you are a listener of Dhvani podcast, you can get an additional 15% discount on all programs offered by them for a month. Sign up on dhvani.co.in/multifit to get the discount code. It is dhvani.co.in/multifit. Follow Multifit's Instagram page to know more. Terms and conditions apply, and all the links are in the show description, of course.
For many years, especially in the Western context, I would say there was this separation between the body and the mind. It's something that is very different from East mentality and East philosophies. We love our body, we ourselves, we are our own home. There's no other place you can go, actually. And in a way, this pandemic kind of made it clearer. I would say don't let anybody tell you how your home should look like.
My name is Parth, and you're listening to Dhvani. So this is the part 2 of my conversation with Sofia, who is quite influenced by the Eastern way of life and the approach towards health and fitness that the Easterns take. She's from Italy, and it was quite interesting for me to understand her perspective regarding fasting, food, diet, and all that goes into keeping a fit body and moreover a healthy mind. It has been a very exciting couple of last months of this podcast, and I'm soon planning to end the season 1. And there are multiple plans for the new seasons and ideas that I have. If you are a storyteller, or like Sofia, if you are also passionate about something and would like to talk about in a podcast format, Dhvani can enable you to do so. Real experiences and observations are immensely powerful, and it can be useful for a lot of other people. Though podcasting is still at its nascent stage in India, Asia, and even in Europe, but the current trends suggest that it is going to be huge in the coming future. If you notice, apart from the podcasting only apps, all major music platforms that stream music are venturing into podcasts rapidly, like Spotify, Amazon Music, JioSaavn, and Deezer all have a podcast section now, which is great for the world of sound. Podcast is a powerful medium, and you can still be an early bird. Log on to dhvani.co.in/podcast to check out all the previous episodes and to contact us. In the meantime, let's listen to the part 2 of the discussion with Sofia about health, fitness, body, and mind. Here we go.
I believe that in 2020 is more like being realistic. So do we really need that kind of protein in our bodies? We don't. There's no evidence that we do actually need meat in our diet. And also, if we talk about like from an environmental perspective, it's clear, it's well researched, it's a fact that meat consumption is a great environmental issue because you simply need more water and more
resources.
Soil more resources to produce 1 kilo of meat compared to 1 kilo of spinach, let's say. So to me, it's, as I said, this is a part of the discussion, and I personally kind of take it into account, but I don't want to make a point just out of it, because I also understand and I also see that a lot of people kind of don't want to see that side.
Yeah.
So if we simply put it in like health and fitness perspective or well-being perspective, that is also something that it's easier for a lot of people to understand. So that's why I don't say I'm a vegetarian fully or I'm a vegan fully, because I'm not. Sometimes, for instance, it happens that I can eat a bit of fish or I eat some yogurt. So that's why I never like make statements about it, because otherwise people are always ready to say, oh, but you ate, I don't know, yogurt.
Exactly. Yeah. I know.
I don't understand why people are so like, what the hell? You go to McDonald's every day and you're telling me that I'm eating yogurt. I'm like, okay, whatever. Then I don't say that I'm vegetarian or I don't say that I'm vegan. But that's the point with things. People tend to be ideological and rigid and...
Right. right.
Very like judgmental about things, very pointing at the flaws of things, when actually they should see what is better for themselves. And
Exactly.
yeah, before talking about what is better for others, but yeah, at least from themselves.
So maybe
Yeah.
this is something that you can talk about, because you opened up this point that it is not maybe so difficult as people perceive it, usually.
Yeah.
Like it's so difficult to follow a diet, to do this, to do that. Maybe it is not. Maybe it is very simple. We don't have to do as much as we think we have to do about it.
Yeah,
So
that's a very good point.
yeah, so maybe you can talk about this with your, let's say, from a model's playbook. What you would tell about your diet, what worked for you,
For
and
me,
exercise,
it's simply
whatever.
Yeah, it was easier. It was easy for me. The thing is that, yeah, as you said, we think we have to do complicated stuff and, I don't know, follow very
Ketoses and this and that. Like
yeah,
people do ketoses
knowing about
they just get so scared of that after that they're like, no, diet is not meant for me. You started with the wrong diet, man. That's why.
Yeah, simply. Yeah, I still remember a friend that told me, oh, my uncle, I don't know, he did the keto diet but then he got back all his pounds, got back all his kilos. And I was like, so therefore keto diet doesn't work. And that's the problem with everything like right now, because we label stuff and we think that just following one procedure or simply, I don't know, sticking for a short limited period of time to something will make you fit for the rest of your life. And first of all, it doesn't work like that. And second of all, we should exactly know that, not everything works the same. Some people simply don't have enough awareness to keep being fit, because there's no magical button that you do and you're done for the rest of your life. It's like with everything, but I definitely agree with what you said about labels and complexity. I don't know, I think we should listen to our bodies more, first of all, and trying to experiment more. And for me, for instance, I know it's very simple for me. I need to higher my vegetables intake and lower the carbs. And that is something that a lot of people are like, oh, but that's a classic. But then when you lower your carbs, when you don't eat that much pasta or bread or whatever, or potatoes or carbs in general, but then you get back all your kilos. Well, it depends. It's not for everybody. Some bodies don't really process sugars that well or carbs that well. Therefore, in order for them to be functioning, sometimes they have to lower it.
Right.
The chapter about sugars is another entire
it's another episode, I think, to talk about sugar and how world deals with sugar. Do you have any exercise regime as well that you follow?
I like running. So for me, running is a sort of meditation as well. So I would say that I tend to run quite a lot. Like, not every day, I wouldn't say every day, but I always go back to running. In times of troubles, running is my escape, is my safe spot. But I would say that I also have always my yoga mat with me wherever I go, regardless of where I move or I don't know where I am physically in the world. I always have my yoga mat with me, because actually sometimes even 10 minutes a day can kind of your body remember, also because the body has a memory. So remember to your muscles that they're active, they're alive elements of you. And I would say that I have some sort of regimes that I tend to follow. So running, or at least walking every day, and some basic abs and total body workout. Even 15 minutes is good.
Right. And how has this is the golden question of today's time. How has the pandemic changed things for you? Has anything been better or worse, or it's the same? Is there any difference?
I would say that the pandemic situation is more, it doesn't really change. Like, you can still exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the problem of the pandemic is not the actual putting into regime or like making an effort to, like, it's not the actual thing, the actual problem of doing things, of exercising. So you could still do that, right? The thing of the pandemic is the anxiety and all the other problems related to it. So of course, when you change your whole life, you have less human contacts and you have less interactions and you have less stimuli. I would say that is the biggest problem. That of course reflects into your body, into your diet, because it's well known that when we are in stress situations and when we lack of physical interaction, or like when we lack of let's call a bit of lively when we lack liveliness in our lives,
Yeah.
we tend to go to sugars. It's the first thing.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
it
true.
has been experiments on mice, and it works for humans as well.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest problem, I would say. So the lack of stimuli and the lack of willingness to keep your body in shape and healthy. That is the biggest thing. But I tried, and that works. I don't know. For me, it worked my whole life actually. That we always have two choices in a way, two paths that we can follow, and you can decide to kind of like passively succumb to things. So succumb to stress, and it could be the pandemic, could be changing
Anything.
your environment, could be university, could be finding a job, could be the job itself, could be whatever, a breakup, whatever. So you always have two choices, you always have two paths that you can follow, and one is succumb to it, and the other one is simply reminding to yourself that it's gonna pass, therefore you better be prepared, and you better not lose your body, which is your home. So I would say it's most this.
Yeah, because for a lot of people the gym's closed and you cannot run the way you used to, and these things became a hassle for many people. But I think still you can do a lot. Like all the time that you have at home now, you can actually make use of that. You can cook things that you never cooked. You can do exercises that you never tried. These things, I did that. I experimented with so many different type of foods in this lockdown, and for me I can personally say it was a better time because there was no distraction at all. What I had to do, I was able to do that. So so if you want to
I also understand that it's tough.
It is tough, definitely. It is tough for like my situation was that I was distracted with a lot of other things, where to go, what to do. The pandemic just streamlined everything. That stay at home and do what you planned all this time. So that thing happened.
The thing that I would add is, it's a mantra that I keep telling to myself, that sometimes, because I received a lot of comments in my life upon my body when I think about it, good, bad, whatever. I've noticed that people, when they see something that is different or they don't have or whatever, when sometimes people tend to randomly comment or randomly put labels, as we said before. So the only thing I would add is that we love our body, we ourselves, we are our own home. There's no other place you can go actually. And I don't know, in a way this pandemic kind of made it clearer.
Right, exactly, right.
Yeah, we are our own home. Our body is the only place you have to live.
And nothing else matters maybe beyond that after a point.
In a way it doesn't, because that's where you live.
Exactly.
So I would say don't let anybody tells you how your home should look like.
Right.
So in a way, becoming more aware of ourselves also makes us more aware of like a lot of other factors, a lot of other external disturbing elements in a way. So taking care of our home the best way we can is probably the best investment that we can do. And there for many years, especially in the Western context, I would say there was this separation between the body and the mind. It's something that is very different from East mentality and East philosophies, which tend to, unify or more like better correlate the body and the mind. In the Western mentality, this wasn't, there was a bit of separation. It's a philosophical and cultural and historical difference, I would say. But no, I actually see them very unified, and that's my suggestion. Be aware of where you are, and where you are is your body. Where you are is your home. And even if externally it's tougher, for many reasons, as we said, it's really not worth it destroying your home, because the world is not an easy place to live.
Exactly.
And that's what I would say.
Nice. So if people have to follow you, if they have to know about you more, are there places
they can follow me on Instagram, Sofia Manna, which is my name and my surname. I post some pictures of my exercises or my runs, or they can ask me, of course.
Okay, we'll be putting all these details in the show description for the listeners anyway, so that's good. Just apart from the discussion, I wanted to, out of my curiosity, do you also practice meditation? Because that is something that I want to do, but I have not yet initiated, something like that. I think meditation is also a very interesting thing that I think about, like literally meditating, sitting, and in Hindi we call it dhyan. So you just close your eyes and chant Om for several minutes, and that actually helps you connecting what you were talking about, body, mind, soul, everything becomes unified in that one moment. And that is supposed to be something that keeps you more aware from within. At the same time, you also understand a lot of other things in your surroundings. And so, have you done that?
I have. I mean, while I was writing my master thesis last winter and last summer, this summer just ended, I meditated a lot because it was stressful because, pandemic, I'm abroad, and I had to write a thesis by myself in a room at home. So a master thesis, it wasn't that easy, actually.
Master thesis is very stressful. I know that.
Very stressful. It's already stressful. So when you put the overall context around it, it's even more stressful. And I used to meditate every morning and every night before going to bed. That's the thing with meditation. First of all, before it was something very exotic in a way, very far away from our, again, I say Western mentality because that's the mentality I grew up in, and that's the society that I'm surrounded by. And when I think about it, maybe 10 years ago we couldn't even have this discussion because people were not even interested in it. Now there are so many ways you can practice meditation, and there are so many guided meditation as well. Even on Spotify, really things sound so difficult when you say it, but when you actually go and look for it, it's not that difficult.
They're accessible,
Even on Spotify or YouTube, you can start, and a simple guided meditation can help you calm down and reduce stress, reduce insulin, reduce blood pressure, reduce anxiety, which is the disease of the century. And it's very simple actually, and you can do it with your headphones really and with your phone, and it does work. It does.
Nice.
Again, all these things, also that's the last thing I would like to say, that is, we think of everything as the sacred graal, so that something will save your life, or if I meditate, everything will be fine, or if I eat well, then everything, all my life will be fine. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
So that is something, it's like vegetarians and vegans, but you said that helped, and actually no, my life didn't change at all. But it's not one element, and it's not that because you take more care of yourself you're gonna become the most successful person in the world tomorrow in your field or whatever. That is not the thing, but all these things are tools that can actually help you live simply better. And
I think the most important part in all of this is that just doing it once or for 1 month won't help anybody or anything. It's the consistency you have to do little by little every day, and then you would have to understand what it is doing to you. That's also very important. Consistency, I think, is the biggest problem with most of the people, including me. Following a regime, following whatever I decide consistently is something that becomes, I tend to procrastinate things. Okay, I'll start from tomorrow maybe. That's something that people need to figure out a system of their own where they can reward themselves and punish themselves in ways where it can work for them. And this is very personalized, I think. Nobody can teach you this.
At the same time, I'm also take it easy, you know what I mean? Of course, if you never start, or if you never even put your mind into this kind of stuff, you never get anywhere. So I think the first thing is simply knowing that you can do these things. Then if you want to procrastinate, then if you don't have consistency, that's up to you. You know what I mean? I also have this kind of attitude towards things, because I have it towards myself, so I'm dude, you know that if you don't do that, good for you or bad for you, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't know, that's the way for being consistent in life, reminding to yourself that actually you're not rewarding or punishing anybody, it's yourself. So at the end of the day, if you don't do that, it's bad for you, end of the story. So I don't know, it's also kind of way for becoming more honest with ourselves, more we don't have anybody checking on us. Actually, there's nobody checking on you, on your life, on your body. Or if they do it just to, I don't know, often people just do that to be annoying. So that's not really a thing. So it's better, I don't know, starting from ourselves, like, trying.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophia. Thanks a lot for talking to me
Thank you, Parth.
and validating so many thoughts and approaches that I myself believe in but couldn't discuss with anybody till now. So thank you again, and I
Thank you.
hope to see you more and talk to you more about more specific things that we opened up in this discussion today.
Of course, with pleasure.
Awesome. Speaking to Sofia actually helped me in reinforcing a lot of beliefs and approaches that I had regarding my body and mind. The point that she mentions about the body and mind being interconnected has been imbibed in our Indian culture for a very long time through our traditional Indian practices, and we often tend to ignore them, I think, nowadays. The key is to look within, swadhyay, self-study, and we will find a lot of wisdom there. And not only in fitness, areas like sustainability and environmental conservation can also be taken up from the playbook of the Eastern wisdom. And if you are passionate about such things, or if you write about it already, why not put it on a podcast? Dhvani can be your platform. You can write an email at info@dhvani.co.in. You must check out the website, which is dhvani.co.in/podcast. You can send voice notes through Facebook or DM me on Instagram as well. All these details are there in the show description. The show was hosted and produced by me. My name is Parth Chauhan. The theme music of the season that you are listening to right now has been composed by Cutie Pie Honey Punch. The logo of Dhvani was designed by Soumya Garg. Dhvani podcast can be found on all major podcasting platforms like Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, JioSaavn, Amazon Music, Stitcher, and everywhere else where podcasts are there. Please subscribe and follow wherever you can. If you listen to this show on Apple Podcast, please rate and review the show. It would really help me. Dhvani podcast is also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube today. Just search for Dhvani podcast and you will find it. If you like what I do, you can support me by buying me a coffee. The link for that is also in the show notes. And that was all for today. Please take care of your body and mind in these difficult times. See you on next Wednesday. Thank you. Goodbye. Ciao.